Yeah, these are my sketchbooks. This is kind of how the pieces start. I do pencil drawings, and I have like stacks and stacks of sketchbooks in the studio. And I'll draw a piece, and sometimes it'll make the cut, sometimes it won't. They always change from where I started. Like if you could see this particular piece, the way it ended up is very, very different. But I do get a rough kind of a blueprint for where I want to go from just doing these sketches. So here are some of them. That's my Joey Ramone piece. And I usually draw like almost every day. I just sort of sit down and see what comes out. This is a piece I might do soon. This is the physics of sunken ships. This is a piece I did a while ago, maybe 2 years ago, I think. It's about what happens to people's souls when a ship sinks. But you can kind of see, I mean, some of them are just doodles. I have a lot of, I do a lot of research, so I have a lot of notes about what I'm researching or ideas that I have, and I kind of do a lot of written stuff too in the sketchbooks just to keep the ideas going. So yeah, there's that. This one, let's see. I think drawing is it's one of my favorite things because you kind of get in that zone, if you let yourself get out of your own way and just start letting yourself do whatever is kind of down deep. And I never really know what I'm doing until a lot later. If I go back and look at the sketchbooks like a month or two later, I realize what was going on. And it's always something subconscious, something that I can absolutely put a tangible kind of feeling to after I see the drawing later. So it's kind of fun that way. There's another study for the physics of sunken ships. That was going to be a painting, but I never did it. This is kind of ended up being the sign out in front of our Santa Fe gallery. It's a little black and white drawing. You can see kind of these are some of the notes that I was taking. The physics of memory, what is music? When nothing is sacred, the physics of love, the place where the sky meets the earth, electricity and magnetism, Coulomb's law. I don't even know what that is anymore. But I was really fascinated by waves, so oscillation and waves. And these are just random notes that I take, so I'll click into something later on, or something I'm kind of trying to discover at the time. So yeah, the uncertainty principle. Reality may not exist unless it's measured. I love that. Isn't that interesting? So yeah, I like my notes a lot. That's a piece I never did. This is my teleportation machine, which I'm going to build in the gallery someday. You go in one door, and then electricity transports over to the other door, and you disappear. You disappear from this door, and then you reappear in this door. So somehow I'm going to build that. This was the first sketch for A Mystery of Music-Induced Tears, which I like that piece a lot, because people cry a lot when they hear music, and I love that. There's another, this is our hypothesis of the future machine that we actually did we built this on Royal Street. That was kind of a fun thing. And this is the first study for, what's it called? What's it called, Sarah?
Hanging the Moon.
Yeah, Hanging the Moon and Stars. That was the first study for it, and then I pushed it a little farther and ended up with this. This is closer to the actual finished piece. So you can kind of see how these things, evolve. And, my sketchbooks are like my best friends. So I talk to them, they talk to me. So this is a sketch I'm working on now. I just started this yesterday for a new piece, and I kind of wanted to show you. You can kind of see the rough idea of this, and I'm just going to fill in some of her dress so you can kind of see how this works. This will be the embroidery on her dress eventually. These are going to be kind of human hearts on vines. And it's really fun because when I'm drawing, I can kind of figure out the embroidery techniques at the same time. So I keep mental notes while I'm drawing. And the cool thing too is that when I'm doing these drawings, I'll come up with new techniques to sew them because the drawing kind of demands that. So it's really kind of a fun combination of things that I'm doing. I don't want to get too many hearts on here. So, a little bit about how grateful I am to be an artist. A lot of you know I didn't go to art school. I flunked the ninth grade. I wasn't recommended for college, and I'm self-taught. So I feel so lucky to have what I have now. And it's kind of a miracle, but at the same time, it's not. I mean, if you work hard and you believe in what you're doing, anybody can achieve what they want to achieve. And I kind of like that I can tell people that from true experience. So you just can't be afraid. Fear is not your friend. So I think I'll just fill this whole thing up with the vines and the hearts and kind of see. It should be good when it's embroidered. I think it'll be really beautiful. And then, I'm always thinking about how the background, because these were always transparent dresses, so you'd be able to see the edge of the horizon here, this cliff that she's standing on. She's going to be walking off of a cliff. And then there's a tree that's kind of what do you call it? It's like disembarking. Oh, that's a good pun. It's like, what do you call that? What do you call that? Yeah, it's kind of the limbs are kind of branching off or blowing off. That's too many puns. That's funny. But yeah, that's going to be part of the background. And then I believe I'm going to use some sacred geometry in the background here. I'm not sure yet, but I have to think about that. But I love the concept of, I use sacred geometry a lot because everything is made up of this beautiful, beautiful geometry. And I love that that's the substance of what we're all made of. So I always try to use that as much as I can. Maybe I'll give her a button right here or something. So that's kind of how I do it.